It is an age of Canadian football domination. In the West, the Edmonton Eskimos are a dynasty without equal. Behind the quarterback tandem of Tom Wilkinson and Warren Moon, the Eskimos won 5 consecutive Grey Cup championships between 1978 and 1982. In the East, 4 teams battle it out through a 6-game season to see who will meet Edmonton in the championship game. The Toronto Argonauts have not hoisted a Grey Cup since 1952. Will this be their year? Let's find out. This is Third and Roll.
Welcome to the Third and Roll podcast, Canada's first, and until there's more than one, best Canadian football board game podcast. My name is Spencer. To my left,
Alex.
To my right,
Dwayne.
Here we go. This is game number 3 of the 1980 season. This is a big game coming up. This is the Labor Day Classic, the Toronto Argonauts visiting the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This game is a battle for first. We also have a new coach for Hamilton. Dwayne, welcome very much to the podcast. I want to ask you a question, Dwayne.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with football, with Canadian football and the Argonauts?
Before we get there, Spencer, so Dwayne is the coach of Hamilton.
You are new. You are, Alex and I, we are introducing a third into our show. Yeah. That third being you. I want to acknowledge that this is your first game and your first episode on this podcast. So welcome, Dwayne.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
My connection to the CFL is occasionally you need a drinking buddy at CFL games, and I'm more than happy to oblige. I quite enjoyed the game. I think the 3 downs actually lends a lot to the excitement. There's a lot of punting, goes back and forth. It's just insane changes of possession all the time. So you get up for 2 seconds and the balls change 4 times. NFL, you get up, might be the same team on the same play. You don't know.
Special teams are a lot of fun, and to have a few more special teams plays, I certainly enjoy that. Well, good, Dwayne. Thank you very much. So let's jump right into it. Our play-by-play man, Edward Welch. Welcome, everybody, to Ivor Wynne Stadium. We are here for the Labor Day Classic. You can hear the Ticats fans outside. They are running their steel motors. They are cutting up metal. They are getting their spikes ready to take out these Toronto Argonauts. This game is a battle for first place in the East. Both Toronto and Hamilton have a 1-0-1 record. In studio, who'll be providing play-by-play, I, of course, have my colleague Norman Knuckleberger. Norman, hello.
Hello.
And then to my right, I have...
Hi, I'm the quarterback. I'm Dave Marler. I'm really excited to play on this Labor Day Classic.
Yes, so we're doing something a little bit unorthodox today, where we're going to be getting some play-by-play from somebody who's actually participating in the game. So, Dave, you are the starting quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You have a mic, and I understand you will continue to have a mic during the game. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a new innovation that we're trying out here in the CFL this year. It's a quarterback coach communication device. It weighs very little. It's only 5 pounds. It's strapped around my waist. It allows me to get plays from the sideline as the game's going on. We think it'll give us a real tactical advantage.
Wow. As always, Hamilton, the home to technical innovation. Very exciting to see what's going to happen with that. I really kind of wonder if you get sacked, if that whole apparatus is going to come sliding off your waist. You say it's 5 pounds, but I must say it's pretty bulky. But you know what? You guys are trying something new, and I got to hand it to you. So welcome to the team, Dave.
Thanks. As long as I don't fall on my right side, I don't anticipate this being much of a problem.
So that's a little bit of a tip there to the Toronto defense. If you are taking him, try to approach him from the left so that he falls from the right. We, of course, also have our third commentator in the studio, Brett Brannigan. Brett, how are you doing? I am furious that we have not started this game yet. It has been almost an hour. I've been sitting here quietly. Let's go out there and play some football. Hold on there, Brett. We're going to go around the horn, or we're each going to make a prediction who is going to win. Dave, I think it's probably a slam dunk in terms of who you're going to pick. So I'm going to throw it to you first.
I'm highly confident that we will win this game behind the strength of our special teams punter and kicker, this guy from Spain who I haven't met yet, but I'm assured he is very good. Former footballer. I hear good things.
Okay, Norman, how about you? What are you thinking here?
Well, the way I'm feeling right now is I'm bleeding double blue, and I don't see any other way this game's going to go but blue all the way.
Okay, so Norman picking the Argos. Brett, what do you think? I think that what Hamilton is doing is ingenious. It is changing the way that football is played. I'm kind of an old school guy, so maybe you wouldn't think I would like it, but I'm actually on board for this. So I'm going for the Tiger Cats. I think they've got a really hot team. I think they're at home. Hamilton historically does very, very well on Labor Day against Toronto, so I'm picking the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I, of course, am picking the Argos. This is a very biased broadcast. I don't pretend to be impartial. So you can put Edward down for the Toronto Argonauts. So with that, we're going to leave Brett Brannigan here in the studio and let's go up to the booth so we can call this game. Dave, of course, you should probably go down to the field.
Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm writing down there right now. So okay. Thanks so much, guys.
So the quarterback's taking the field. Looks like some kind of cyborg out there with some kind of futuristic equipment. Welcome to the 1980s, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. They are getting ready for the coin toss. Hamilton gets the pick. Hamilton picks heads. And it is tails. So Toronto gets to choose whether to receive or defer.
And they're choosing to kick.
Choosing to kick, so Hamilton will receive. We have Xenon Andrew coming onto the field for the Argos, who will be kicking to the Tiger Cats. All right, listen to that crowd. They are chanting. Sounds kind of like Oski wee wee. It all sounds a little bit Greek to me. I don't fully understand it. Xenon Andrew back with the kick. The kick is up. It is a 50-yard kick. Hamilton gets the ball from his 15-yard line. Returning the ball for Hamilton, as always, is the great Canadian David Shaw. He has the ball. He runs up the middle. He has a wedge in front of him. He breaks out to the left-hand side of the field. He is running at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10, and it's at the freaking touchdown to start off the Labor Day Classic. Hamilton returns the ball all the way down the field. That looks as though it is a 95-yard touchdown. What a way to start the game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Just listen to that Steel Town crowd.
They are up 6-0 on a kick return touchdown. They have Bernie Ruoff on to kick the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. So with that, it is 7-0 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats to start off the game. Dave, you really didn't even need to get out onto the field there. You must be pretty excited down there.
Yeah, I can tell you, I wasn't really paying attention on that last play, boss. I was just here drinking this Gatorade, and I'm really, really happy that our special teams was able to do it right off the bat.
This is James Franklin, quarterback for the Toronto Argonauts, and you're listening to Third and Roll.
Argos in an early hole here. So for now, it will be Bernie Ruoff staying onto the field to kick the ball back to the Toronto Argonauts.
Those Steel Town fans feel like they've won the lottery right now. Couldn't have had the best possible beginning.
All right, so Ruoff with the kick. It is a deep one. This one is going all the way back to the goal line. Argos with the ball. It looks as though they've got Terry Metcalf there returning the kicks. And he makes it up 20 yards, so it's going to be 1st and 20 Argos from their own 20-yard line. Now, Dave, I know you're playing for the opposition, but I mean, when you come onto the field for your first possession, you're already down by a touchdown. Any kind of advice you can offer here for the Argos?
Keep doing what you're doing, Argos. Doing great.
The way they handled that special teams, they really handled it with a lot of class and grace. They didn't want to get into their way. They just let them do what they were going to do. So here we go. We've got Jackson under center. The boos are raining down from the stands. Hands it off to Metcalf. Looks as though it's a run from option. And Metcalf picks up 10 yards.
First down, Toronto.
Argos from the 30-yard line. Jackson back. Looks as though they're going back to the reverse once again. And looks as though they have fooled the defense. And it is a reverse, and Metcalf picks up 9 yards. So that's going to be a 2nd and 1 from the 39-yard line. Argos going right back to the run, 2nd and 1. They pick up 3 yards. So that's going to be, again, a 1st and 10. Argos really relying extremely heavily on Metcalf here. Let's see if they try to mix it up and do anything a little bit more exciting. Marler, how do you feel when you're a quarterback and your coach is always calling the run? Does that discourage you, or do you like taking some of the pressure off? How do you feel about that?
Well, that's a pretty good strategy because you know me, I have weak knees.
You do have a storied history of injuries that we will be getting into, absolutely. And I thank you for bringing it up first, so I didn't want to be the one to bring it up.
It started at Mississippi State.
You played for a real corker of a coach back there. And looks as though the Argos are getting onto the field from the 42-yard line. Looks as though it's back to Jackson. It's a pass to Terry Greer. Picks up 15 yards through the air, and then an additional 3 on the ground. So that is an 18-yard pickup for the Argos. That brings them onto the Hamilton side of the field. It could be 1st and 10 from the Hamilton 50.
Well, there's nothing like the feeling of getting out to the center of the field into the neutral zone. Here we are, right on the 50-yard line.
So Jackson off to an impressive 1-for-1 throwing the ball, but it looks as though he's going back to a security blanket of Terry Metcalf. Looks as though they're going to do another reverse. Oh no, they faked the reverse. It's a pickup of 5. The pickup of 5, so down to the 45-yard line. It's going to be a manageable 2nd and 5 here for the Argos. Jackson again under center, hands it off to Metcalf. Metcalf, it's a draw play. Metcalf picks up 10. So that's going to be another 1st down for the Argos. The Argos are really marching down the field here, taking their time, drawing time off of the clock. Really want to, they really feel like they want to keep the ball away from you. Is that a sign of respect, or do you think it's a sign of fear on their part that they really don't want to hand you the ball?
I think the boys celebrated a little too hard on Labor Day Eve.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, everybody likes to get up to some heavy drinking on a Sunday night here before a Monday night game here at Ivor Wynne Stadium. Okay, looks as though they've pitched it out to Metcalf. Metcalf picks up 4. And what's this?
There's a flag on the play.
So we're seeing some laundry out on the field here for the very first time. Let's take a look at what the call is. Let's go down to the sidelines, and we're just waiting to get the ruling here. Offside on the defense.
Come on, guys.
Wow. So it was a third. It was a pickup of 4. Let's go down to the Argos. Are they gonna accept the penalty? So it would be 1st and 5. Norman, what do you think? You're tapped into the mind of the Toronto coach. Are they gonna take it? Are they gonna decline the penalty so it would be 2nd and 6, or are they gonna accept it so that it's a 1st and 5?
I would decline this penalty if I were the Argonauts.
This is a real, a devil on your shoulder situation here. I hope that the Toronto coach is not listening to the opposition. They are going to accept the penalty. So it's a sound move there. It'll be 1st and 5 from the Hamilton 30-yard line.
The Argos coach just looked a little confused there for a second. I don't know what was going on through his mind, but I think he was trying to work out how these penalty rules work.
Well, that's why we have the linesmen, and they give you that pretty straightforward option where you do on 2nd and 6 or 1st and 5. You would think most people would take the 1st and 5.
You're listening to 3rd and Roll.
Dave, are you surprised by this? They're going right back to the run. They're handing it off to Terry Metcalf. He's breaking it out to his left, and he busts it through that's a 10-yard pickup. It has been all Metcalf here except for that one play to Greer. There have been 6 rushing plays on this entire drive. Started at the Argos 20. They are now down to the Hamilton 20-yard line. They're in the red zone. They're knocking on the door. Are they going to strike for the end zone here, or are they going to keep with their methodical running of the ball down the field?
I just have to say our defense all game has been very disappointing. I think we've just been decimated here because it's 1980 by cocaine.
It is, of course, it is September 1980. I don't know the exact date. I forgot to check that on my calendar before we got up here into the booth. So we have Jackson. Looks as though he's back to pass. Nope, that's a misdirection. It was a draw play. Hands it off to Metcalf. Metcalf makes it through the middle. Zambiasi misses him. Metcalf down to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and he gets into the end zone. That was a 20-yard run for the Argos.
What a run.
Wow. A lot of Metcalf on that drive. It is 7-6 Hamilton now, and the kick is up, and it is good. So we have a tie game here. We're all tied up at 7. There are 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Dave, looks like you may get opportunity here to get out onto the field, but we're going to be right back right after this.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ron Booman. Welcome to the Canadian Armchair Football Podcast. On a day when two titans of Canadian football face off in the Labor Day Classic. As this will be my first Labor Day Classic, I made my way down the highway along the shores of Lake Ontario to the lovely town of Kingston. Yes, here we are, Kingston. Once the capital of Canada, the Limestone City, this grand old town of Canada, halfway between Toronto and Montreal, as we prepare to begin the classic showdown between two teams. The Toronto Argonauts and, I believe, the Kingston Kings. Well, I have just been informed that the Labor Day Classic, in fact, takes place in Hamilton, and I have driven the wrong way around Lake Ontario. So while I enjoy the sights and sounds of this historic city, I send you back to the commentary booth in the correct city for the correct game. Well, the Ivor Wynn fans certainly aren't quiet about this. I mean, that is some really strong booing I'm hearing right now. They seem to be frustrated at the way the Argos are just running the ball, crying out for more exciting plays. But I guess as a football team, you got to ask yourself, I mean, are you there to entertain or are you there to win the game?
That's absolutely right, Norman. When you're going into a hostile environment like this, you really want to make sure that you can establish and control the pace of the game. So we are going to go with the kickoff here. Argos kicking to Hamilton.
Zenon Andrushishin.
From his own 45-yard line. That kick is up. It's hanging in the air. It doesn't know how far down the field it wants to go. Let's take a look. And it is a 60-yard pickup. That is a 60-yard pickup. That's going to bring it down to the 5-yard line where David Shaw of the Tiger Cats is going to run it back. And he is able to pick up 15 yards. So it's going to be 1st and 10 Hamilton from their own 20-yard line.
First down, Hamilton.
So Dave, it's exciting. You're finally getting to throw your first Labor Day game of the year. Talk us through what you're seeing here.
All right, Ed. Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go down the field now. I'm going to have to switch it over, so I'm going to be communicating with my sideline now. So if I'm not responsive, just pray I'm not falling down on my right side. Okay, boys, we're in a hole here. It's a tie game, so we're going to have to give it our all. Coach is telling me that we're going to run, what am I hearing here? A short yardage running play over center.
So we've got Marler there and under center. He's handing it off to Rufus Crawford, and he busts past Bruce Clark and he picks up 6 yards. So it's a very respectable 6 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 4 Tiger Cats from their 26.
All right. Yeah, boys, let's go. Okay, good. Let's keep it going. 4 more yards. Let's take off left tackle.
Okay, handing it off to his left, and he gets Stuffed by Bruce Clark. That's a 3-yard pickup.
Third down.
So it's going to be a 3rd and 1 from their own 29-yard line. This is really why these CFL coaches get paid the big bucks, folks. What do? You're here at home, you're on your own side of the fields. Are you going to punt the ball, or are you going to try to go for it on 3rd and 1?
Coach,
We're still early in the first quarter.
Coach says it's a holiday. We got to go for it.
You got to pick your play before you roll. You did it again. You did it again.
All right.
Okay, looks as though they are going for it. Marler hands it off to Crawford, and he busts through the line for a pickup of 2. Wow, that was a gutsy call. Norman, what are the Tiger Cats saying here? Are they saying they don't trust their defense, or are they saying that they really want to go for it? I mean, from your own 29-yard line, so early in the game, a really shocking call there.
Oh, this is the football I want to see. I mean, when you're 3rd and 1 in the Canadian Football League, it's time to trust your offense. Go for it.
Okay, so we got Norman's side of things, and let's go back down and go back into the huddle with our man on the field, except we don't like him because he's playing for the wrong team, Dave Marler.
Okay, boys. We had possibly the most successful run in CFL history. We pulled off 3 running plays in a row. Okay, now Coach wants us to throw a long pass.
Marler looks as though he's got Ross Clarkson down the right-hand sideline. Clarkson picks up 30 in the air. After that, he goes and he fumbles the ball.
Guys, come on.
Ross Clarkson, he got 30 yards down the field, and then he coughed up the ball. It is going to be
First down, Toronto.
from their 50-yard line. 50-yard line. Marler, you hate to see that.
That cocaine.
Well, that you could also think of that as an alternative method of punting.
Fair. It'd be about a 30-yard net play, although it was first down, so you usually wouldn't want to kick the ball away at that point in time. But and just before we go on, that you may be wondering if you've been watching the Tiger Cats games all year, who was that? That, of course, all-time Canadian wide receiver Ross Clarkson, who was actually just traded to the Ticats this past week from the Ottawa Rough Riders. So he came on over. He's had a storied career with the Ottawa Rough Riders. He comes on over for his first touch of the ball, makes a great catch, does a great move, but could not hang on to the ball. Looks as though that was Preston Young of the Argos that came in and stripped the ball away and recovered the ball. So it's
First down, Toronto.
It's going to be the last play of the first quarter here. So Jackson under center. Shocker, hands it off to Metcalf. Metcalf running, trying to make it around the edge. And he gets stuffed. No yards there for Terry Metcalf. He was met there in the middle by Greg Dubianski. I did not write his name down correctly, but I've got Greg Dubins. I'm going to go back and check my notes and confirm the name of that player, but it's going to be 2nd and 10. Argos from the 50-yard line. The teams, of course, are going to switch sides, and we will be right back for the second quarter of this Labor Day Classic. Both teams all tied up at 7.
This is Chad Owens, the flying Hawaiian and former receiver for the Toronto Argonauts. You're listening to Third and Roll, a Canadian football board game podcast.
That was a jolly good scrap.
What character is this now?
A man of certain class which is at certain times expressed through crashing into another man on a football field and taking the pigskin. And there's no more thrilling moment.
The CFL is brought to you by MeUndies and Squarespace. Edit that out. It's called aspirational podcast sponsorship.
Okay, so we are back. It is the second quarter. Looks as though Greg Dubinets, I apologize to Greg for getting his name wrong. He is there, and he is really amping up the crowd. The The chorus of Argos suck is really hailing down onto the players here at Ivor Wynn. And of course, Ivor Wynn, with its design, the fans are extremely close to the sidelines. So really not a lot of space for the visiting team on the sidelines. You really hear that hail of boos and Argos suck coming down on you. But let's see if they can turn it around. Terry Metcalf off to a great start so far on 8 rushes. He already has 67 yards.
Edward, you there?
Yes.
Oh, right. You picking me up?
Dave, I'm picking you up.
Between the quarters, I had an opportunity to speak with Greg. It's Greg Dubinetz.
Thank you.
All right. Just thought you'd like to know that.
Thank you. I didn't know you knew the Yaley.
Please do not address this unit in that manner.
Looks as though Jackson is waiting for us to stop talking so we can snap the ball. Let's see what they're going to what they're going to call. It's again 2nd and 10 for the Argos.
Oh, the Argos finally hit a wall here with their running game, and they were able to just march down the field that entire drive. But suddenly hitting a wall with no gain, they're forced to a 2nd and long for the first time.
Okay, so Jackson looking to pass. It looks as though it's a wide receiver screen out there to Greer. Greer picks up 5. Let's see if he can do anything with it now that he has the ball. Greer picks up an extra 2. So that brings it down. It's going to be a 3rd and 3 for the Argos. So they were able to get close, but they weren't able to fully get it. Let's see what they can do from there.
Ooh, 3rd and 3. It's looking a little bit long to go for it here, but they are at midfield.
That's true. They are on Hamilton's side of the field. Are they going to... It would be a little bit...
And the offense is staying on the field.
Wow. Okay. What are they going to do? Are they going to try to throw a pass? Or are you kidding? Have you been listening to this game? It's Jackson handing it off to Metcalf. Metcalf running right up the middle. And Metcalf picks up 6 yards. So it's a 1st and 10. Argos down to the 47-yard line of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Dave, are they stealing some of your special sauce there by going for it on 3rd down? What do you think about that call?
Well, it's a sensible thing to do here on Labor Day. Give the fans what they want. They want to see football plays.
That's why we are here. We're not here for hockey, folks. That season's actually starting pretty soon. It's September. All right. So Jackson with the ball. He's going right back to Greer. And Greer picks up 10 yards through the air. Let's see. It looks as though the Hamilton defense is closing in on him. Will they be able to bring him down? And the answer to that question is an astounding no. No, they were not able to pick him. David Shaw came right in. He dove for him. He missed. Greer is dancing down the sidelines. He could have run for 55 yards if there were 55 yards of turf left. He is turning. He is wagging his finger at Dave Shaw. He is really giving it to this crowd. So that is a 47-yard touchdown for the Argos.
Zenon Andrushishin.
On for the extra point, and it is good. It is good. So with that, it is 14-7 Argos. So 14 straight points for the Argos following the kick return touchdown.
Oh, that has really put a hush over this stadium.
So let's pause for a minute here. So this crowd, like Norman, you put it right. It's a real hush. They're still saying Argos suck, but they're kind of muttering it under their breaths as opposed to shouting it at the top of their lungs.
Seems like it kind of took the wind out of their sails there. They still want to really boo the Argos, but they just don't have the same heart in it.
They just really hate the Argos, don't they? I mean, it's really something. But
there's an extra edge to it here in Ivor Wynn, isn't there?
I don't really know what it is. Dave, what do you think about it? What makes you hate Toronto so much?
I honestly couldn't tell you because I am from Mississippi.
That's true, though. I do. I mean, and were you born and raised in Mississippi, or did you just go to school there?
I have had a lot of concussions. I really can't say for sure.
Fair enough.
Greetings from the desk of Dr. Photius Ballunicus.
Reaching into the depths of time, we find an ancient kin to the game of football in the ancient Greek tradition of episkuros, which means on the line, and is perhaps more colorfully referred to as a sphyromakia, battle ball. In this sport, the ball was placed on a line. 2 teams. It is conjectured of 12 players each, just like Canadian football. Line up on either side of this line. The contest then consists of seizing the ball and attempting to throw it behind the other team. The objective being to push the other team behind the back line to score.
So Zenon Andrushizhin is on to kick the extra point. He, of course, Dave, I just want to fill you in, has really quite a great backstory where he was from the western side of occupied Germany, where he escaped and came to Canada and went to school in Oakville. And he was trying out in UCLA. He was getting ready to participate in the Summer Olympics. I believe it was javelin throwing. I'm not quite sure. And then he got injured, and then he walked on over to the football field, and he kicked 6 straight 45-plus yard field goals. And then from there, it's been all football ever since. Have you ever heard a story like that?
So,
and could you imagine that story is true?
the western side of East Germany.
Let me check my facts here. No, it looks as though it was from West Germany, so perhaps he did not so much escape as leave. But you know what? It's still a long way to travel, and we're happy to have him here playing for the Argos.
Yeah, it was good to throw the javelin, but one day I tried with my foot to kick the javelin, and that is when the dream began. And now here I am.
Now, Zenon, is that when the dream began, or was that when the dream of being in the Olympics ended?
As my Olympic dream died, my new dream was born again in Canada.
Well, we are very happy to have you here playing for the Argos. Looks as though, okay, so I know this is a recording because we spoke to you earlier in the week, and looks as though you're on the field now getting ready to kick the ball. And so the kick is up. It is a 60-yard kick return. So the Tiger Cats will be taking the ball from their own 5-yard line. You have David Shaw, the defensive back and kick returner. He was the one that muffed that tackle that allowed Terry Greer to dance into the end zone. Let's see what they can do with it. And he is able to pick up 10 yards. So that's going to be
First down, Hamilton.
from the 15. This is a great opportunity for Dave. He can march his team down the field. And for David Shaw, he's really 1-1. So he had that great kick return touchdown to start it off. He had a bit of a flub on defense that allowed the Argos touchdown. So basically, he's coming out even. So really gotta give him a little bit of slack.
Okay, guys, we're going to run a more conservative game from here on out by running. So we're going to do a sweep, long yardage running play.
All right, so you heard it straight from the horse's mouth, folks. So Dave Marler hands it off to Rufus Crawford. Crawford, it's a pitch out. Sorry, apologies, it's a sweep. He's going around, he's trying to see if he can get the edge. He gets it, he gets past Clark, and that is a 6-yard pickup. So he is tackled by the Argos linebacker, Ron Southwick. It's a pickup of 6. So it'll be 2nd and 4 for the Tiger Cats from their own 21-yard line.
We're running the same play. They'll never suspect that.
And looks as though they did suspect it. Bruce Clark busts through the line, and that is a loss of 2. They'll put them back to 2nd and 6. Looks as though there is an in-booth timeout. Let's just pause and look. Oh, looks as though we're going. Yes, is that right? Okay, we are going from the booth back up to the podcast studio. Okay, well, that's what they're saying, so let's throw it to them. Okay. Wait,
how's it going?
One thing that I woefully forgot to mention is that there is one rule
can't run the same play twice.
That you cannot run the same play twice.
I've outsmarted the game.
So that is a rule that I neglected.
You could have thrown a flag, maybe.
I suppose I could have. You know what? That's a great way to handle it within the game.
It's 1980. You can't run the same play twice in Canadian football.
So, I mean...
I'm from Mississippi. I wouldn't know that.
So that's... okay, that's a great idea. So we're going to do that. Hold on a minute. Hold on. So we are at the... we're at the 19. So we were at 15, went to the 21, so back to the 19. Okay, so let's go with that. Let's throw it back down to Ed and the boys in the booth for the play-by-play. All right, so I'm not really sure who was speaking there. Again, a podcast? That doesn't make any lot of sense to me. Looks as though there is a flag on the field.
There's a flag on the play.
That is a 15-yard objectionable conduct call for apparently a play that is outside the rules of the game. So with that, the Argos have a choice. So it's 15 yards, so it'll be half the distance to the goal. The Argos head coach has a choice here. It'll either be 3rd and 6 from the Hamilton 19, or it will be
half of 19.
It will be. It would be. Hold on. Let me do some math here.
Working.
Or it will be 2nd and 18 from the 5. So it will be either 3rd and 6 or 2nd and 18. So they can really push the Hamilton Tiger Cats back into a deeper hole, but it gives them the opportunity on 2nd down to pick up a first. Let's go down to the sidelines. Let's see what the Argos are going to call.
I believe that since the penalty is within the end, that it is only half the distance to the goal. And in fact, the ball will not be removed to the 5-yard line, but in fact will only be moved back 9.5 yards to the 9.5-yard line, which may be rounded either up or in the down direction. And therefore, it would be a 2nd and
15
11.
15
and 15. 2nd and 15.5. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, rules pedant.
Actually, half. No, it is half, not 0.5. I must correct myself. Yes. Thank you.
So 15 and a half. So what are the Argos going to do? Are they going to accept the penalty? Or are they going to make it go to 3rd down?
Well, it looks like the Argos are letting this penalty go and saying, well, let's just decline it and carry on.
Okay, so
and say if you want to keep charging, if you want to keep running the same play, do run the same play all day. Defense is standing ready.
All right, so that was quite a diversion. So we're back where we started, and so it's going to be from the 19-yard line. It's 3rd down. Looks as though Bernie Ruoff is on. They are going to punt the ball. That punt is up. And it is a deep one. It looks as though that's a 50-yard punt. That's going to bring the ball to the 41-yard line of the Argos. The Argos have Metcalf back there. Sorry, apologies. Greer back there to return. Greer with the ball. And looks as though that ball... My apologies. That ball has gone out of bounds. That ball has gone out of bounds, but it is within the 20, so there is no penalty on the play. That is going to be a 1st down Argos from their 41-yard line here with about 7 minutes left in the first half.
You're listening to 3rd and Roll.
Okay, so Toronto continuing with their conservative play calling. It's Jackson handing it off to Metcalf. Metcalf busts it through the right-hand line, and that is a pickup of 10. Metcalf, well on his way to a 100-yard rushing game. There's a possibility he get a 100 yards in the first half. They are going right back to that running game, and it is a pickup of 8. So that is from the 51. There's a pickup of 8. Metcalf running down the field. Looks as though they are onto the Hamilton side at the Hamilton 51-yard line. Shocker. Dave, do you want to call the play here? Do you think they're going to pass?
I think they're probably going to pass.
So
I'm feeling pass here, Ed.
Okay. So Jackson, and he is not passing. He hands it off to Metcalf, runs at the middle, and who is there but, oh my goodness. Straight from the not-so-mean streets of northern Chicago, Greg Dubinitz. Greg, I will remember your name for the rest of this game. Stuffs him for a loss of 2, pushes him back to the 53-yard line. It's going to be a 2nd and 12 for the Argos. The last time that they were put in a second and long position, they went for the pass. Let's see if they're going to do that here. Would then be an obvious passing situation.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe Hamilton's going to make some adjustments in their defense here, seeing they just don't seem to be adjusting to the run.
Maybe there's a certain type of defense that they're doing. Wow. Okay, so 2nd and 12, and Jackson is getting ready to hand it off to Metcalf once again. They're going to do a reverse, and no, it is a fake reverse. And again, Greg Dubinitz, straight out of Yale, dropping some bones onto the skull of Terry Metcalf.
How are his test scores?
Let's just say this. He spelled Yale with a 6.
It is a loss of 1.
Third down.
So 3rd and 13 Argos. Looks as though this may be a punt. This may be a punt coming up here.
I do believe the direction of the field has been reversed an extra time. And the Argos have now been heading in this direction.
Yes.
As they were in the first quarter.
Oh. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Because they appear to be lost. Looks like there's some confusion here in the neutral zone. But you know what? I love the neutral zone. I love the fact that we have these extra 10 yards, and we have a yard actually labeled C. Doesn't it get a number, it gets a letter. And this neutral zone, I always love when the play's in the neutral zone.
Okay, but it's still 3rd and 13. Are the Argos going to be punting the ball?
Oh, the line judge appears confused about. He believes it is now a 3rd and it was a loss of 2, so it would have been a 3rd.
It was a loss of 2 and then it was a loss of 1. So on first down, you lost 2 yards, and second down, you lost 1 yard. So I'm not sure where you are in the field, but you're definitely at.
Whoa! The line judge is he seems to be he's tied up in his own chain. He's running circles around himself, and he's gotten caught in his own chain. Seem to be confused because when you're standing at the center line, you see 50 that direction, you see 50 that direction, and he seemed to have gone both ways there. But the Argos are now bringing on the old punt unit. They really have been marching this whole game, but they're really hitting the wall now.
Next time on Third and Roll.
Well, in the off-season, as you know, a lot of us CFL players like to spend time in the discotheques in Montreal.
And Dave Marler has got a second chance at life here.
Oh, yeah, we're screwing up. Yeah, how do you like my running crack, cocaine, and AIDS jokes? We're going to get a lot more in the second half, by the way.
That's, I mean...
It is 1980.
Wasn't that later?
Yeah, a bit early on age.
Third and Roll is an independent Canadian football board game podcast recorded in Toronto, Ontario in 2019. Today's episode features the voices of Spencer, Alex, and Subi.
This works for me.
Thanks, Subi. Our cover art is illustrated by Bryce Hall. This episode was edited by
Spencer Adams from Toronto.
Our theme music is Magic Mountain by Jazzar. Brett Brannigan's theme is The Spellbreaker by Tritachyon. Both songs used through a Creative Commons Attribution License and freemusicarchive.org. Ron Booman's theme is Box Mak Fiodaak, performed by United States Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps. The Pedant's theme is Box Variacho Una Cinq Clave, performed by Kimiko Ishizaka. Todd Gray's interview music is Bach's Aria Variata, Variation Number 3, performed by Brandon Kinsella. That's a lot of Bach. All Bach pieces used are in the public domain. If you'd like to help support the show, you can tell a friend or leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcatcher you use. Or you can head on over to patreon.com/thirdandroll and become a patron to get exclusive early access to new game episodes and to become a recurring character on the show. If you want to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter @thirdandroll or send an email to thirdandroll@gmail.com. New episodes every Wednesday. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Third and Roll.
I'm not an afterthought, Spencer, but I'll move on.